This is Mr. Martin. These notes are for geometry. We're in chapter 1. We're talking more about angles. And a lot of this stuff should be reviewed, but it's important material, so it doesn't hurt to go over it again. So our first main idea here, again, we're talking about angles. So if we see in the picture here, we have a 60-degree angle, and it's got letters A, B, and C. B is at the vertex, and A and C are on each of the sides. So an angle is formed by two rays with a common endpoint. This common endpoint is called the vertex. Okay, and if you want to pause the video and see if you can fill out these blanks on your own, feel free to do that. And then, so that's point B. That's point B right there. Okay, and then the rays are called sides, so that's the sides of the angle. And then the two sides are ray BA and ray BC. Okay, notice we had the vertex in there. All right, and we name an angle using, now typically we'll use 3 letters. Sometimes you can use 1 letter, and sometimes if there's a number inside, not the angle measure like this one, but sometimes if there's a number you could use that. And then the middle letter must always represent the vertex. So if we wanted to name this one, we would call it angle A, B, C. Now, we could also call it angle B. In this particular picture, there's no way to confuse it with being a different angle, so we could use angle B. But if you want to be safe, you can always use 3 letters. Alright, again, so use a single letter if there's only one angle located at the vertex, so that's angle B. Alright, when referring to the measure, use a lowercase m, so this little m here stands for measure, and we would say the measure of angle ABC equals 60. Alright, so again, if you want to pause this and if you want to write what type of angle each of these are, this one is less than 90, so that's acute. This one is more than 90, so it's obtuse. And this one is equal to 90. We know it's 90 because that right angle marker in there, that little box. So that's a right angle. Okay, and with a right angle, the sides of the angle, the 2 rays, are perpendicular. Alright, so example 1, we have this angle over here. And again, just a reminder, if you want to pause the video and see if you can get these on your own, feel free to do that. So name the vertex of the angle. So the vertex is a point, and the vertex is going to be right over there, so that's going to be point K. Name the sides of the angle. The sides are the rays. So we have ray KJ. You have to put the symbol, and typically the convention is to write that ray going to the right no matter how it looks in the picture. And ray KL. Okay, give 3 ways to name the angle. Alright, so we could call it angle K, or we could call it angle JKL, or we could call it angle LKJ. So if you notice that when we use 3 letters, we always put the vertex in the middle. It has to be in the middle. So we go around the angle, picking a letter from one side, then we pick the vertex, then we pick a letter from the other side. Alright, let's classify this angle with how it looks here. So it looks like it's more than 90, so we'll call it obtuse. Alright, moving on to example 2. So if you paused and then you restarted to check yourself, make corrections if you need to. If not, that's great. Again, if you want to pause for example 2 and see if you want to figure these out on your own. Alright, so name the vertex of angle 2. So angle 2 is right here, and then the vertex is going to be point T. Name the sides of angle 4. So angle 4 is over here. So the two sides are going to be ray TW and ray TZ. Alright, write another name for angle 3 over here. Now, we can't just call it angle T because we don't know which one of these we'll be talking about, so we're going to have to use 3 letters. So I know that T has to go in the middle, so angle 3, then I'm going to pick a point on one side, so that's U, and a point on the other side, that's Z. So this could be called angle UTZ. Alright, write another name for angle 1 over here. So that's going to be angle, so pick a point on one side, that's Y. Pick the vertex, that's T, and pick a point on the other side, that's X. Alright, name the sides of angle 5. So this happens to be a right angle, so those sides are going to be perpendicular. So the sides are ray TY and ray TW. Alright, so let's classify angle YTZ. YTZ. So those rays go in exactly opposite directions, so that's going to be a straight angle. So that's straight. YTU. So YTU, that looks like it's going to be more than 90 degrees, so that's obtuse. XTU. XTU, that looks like it's less than 90, so that's going to be acute. And WTU. WTU, that looks like it's more than 90 again, so that's going to be obtuse. Okay, make sure if you have questions, you get those questions answered. So here's some new words we're going to be talking about. We have vertical angles, adjacent angles, linear pair, complementary angles, and supplementary angles. Okay, so these are relationships between two different angles. If you notice in each of these it says, let's undo that. Come on, erase. Two, and 2. So these are relationships between two angles. So vertical angles, two angles across from each other on intersecting lines, and they are always congruent. So we like that. We like congruent things. So let's draw a picture here. So here's two intersecting lines. Okay, and just to make things a little bit easier and quicker, I'm going to name each of these with numbers. So now what I have here is I have two pair of vertical angles. So I have angle 1 and the angle that's across from it. So these are across from each other in the intersecting lines. Angle 1 and angle 3 are a pair of vertical angles. And then also 2 and 4, those are also across from each other. So angle 2 and angle 4 are a pair of vertical angles. Alright, let's talk about adjacent angles. Two angles that are next to each other and share a common side. Remember, a side is a ray. So if I draw a ray here, and then I draw another ray over here, and another ray over here, I have angle 1 and angle 2. They're next to each other. They share this ray in the middle. Okay? So we would say that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Okay? Now, similar, we have a linear pair. It's two angles that are adjacent, so they're going to share a ray. So I'm going to draw my ray right over here like this. They're going to share this ray, and they are supplementary. So we haven't talked about that yet, but we're going to in a minute. So they form a straight line. So if I draw one of the angles this way, and then I draw the other ray for the other angle this way, we can see that we have this straight line here. So angle 1 and angle 2, they're adjacent angles and they're supplementary. So just a little preview. Add to 180 degrees. Okay, so we would say angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. Okay, and we're going to do lots of stuff with linear pairs. So the last two we have are complementary angles and supplementary angles. So complementary angles are any two angles whose sum is 90. So we're going to look at two different examples, because I could have an angle over here that's 40 degrees and an angle over here that's 50 degrees. So this would be a pair of complementary angles. Pair of, and usually we just abbreviate it COMP, and I'm going to use the angle symbol, pair of complementary angles. Now, these two angles don't happen to be attached, but a lot of times I'll have complementary angles that are adjacent. So it may look like this. So this could be 20 degrees, and this could be 70 degrees, and they form this right angle. So this is another pair. We'll just call this pairs. So we have a pair here and a pair here. So they can be attached and form a right angle, or they could just be separate, and as long as they add up to 90, they're complementary angles. So supplementary angles, we have the same thing where they can be attached or not attached, except now they add up to 180. So now, let's look at some examples. If I have a 100-degree angle, what would I need to make it a pair of supplementary? Well, I'm going to need an 80-degree angle. So now they add up to 180. So here's a pair of supplementary angles. These are not attached, but they can also be attached. And if they're attached, then they're a special kind of supplementary angles. We call them a linear pair, like we did here. Linear pair. Okay, so this could be 110, and this could be 70 degrees, and then this is another pair of supplementary angles. So it can be attached, doesn't have to be attached, they're both supplementary. If they're attached, then this is also a linear pair. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you have questions, make sure you get those answered. These are important vocabulary words, and we're going to use these concepts all the time in this class. So get your questions answered, and we'll see you next time.